I always thought my grandmother was eccentric. She lived alone in a creaky old house on the outskirts of town, surrounded by a thick forest that seemed to swallow up the sunlight. She was a sweet old woman, but there was always an unsettling air about her. She would hum eerie tunes while tending to her overgrown garden, and her eyes held a secret, a darkness that lingered just beneath the surface. It wasn't until after her death that I discovered the true nature of the nursery rhymes she used to sing to me as a child. The funeral was somber, the air thick with grief and the scent of wilting flowers. As I sifted through her belongings in her attic, a dusty box caught my eye. Inside, I found a collection of weathered notebooks, filled with her handwriting. The pages were filled with rhymes, each more disturbing than the last. The one that caught my attention first was a nursery rhyme about a little girl who wandered into the woods and encountered a malevolent spirit. The details were vivid, describing the creature in gruesome detail and ending with a warning to never stray too far from the safety of home. As I delved deeper into the notebooks, I realized that each nursery rhyme had a dark origin. They weren't mere tales to amuse a child, they were warnings, cautionary tales about the supernatural entities that lurked in the shadows. The more I read, the more I began to understand that my grandmother wasn't just singing to entertain me. She was imparting knowledge, passing down a legacy of fear that had haunted our family for generations. Curiosity consumed me, and I decided to investigate further. The forest behind her house seemed to beckon to me, its twisted branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. Armed with the cryptic rhymes, I ventured into the woods, guided by the verses that spoke of hidden pathways and forbidden clearings. As I ventured deeper, the air grew colder, and the rustling leaves whispered secrets I couldn't comprehend. I stumbled upon an ancient, dilapidated altar hidden in a clearing, surrounded by gnarled trees. It was adorned with symbols that mirrored those in my grandmother's notebooks. Suddenly a presence enveloped me, and the shadows seemed to come alive. Whispers echoed through the trees, and the temperature plummeted. I saw fleeting glimpses of ethereal figures, their eyes filled with malevolence. The nursery rhymes played in my mind like a haunting soundtrack, warning me to leave, to escape the clutches of whatever ancient force lurked there. In a panic, I retraced my steps, the forest seemingly closing in around me. The whispers grew louder, and unseen hands tugged at my clothing. I burst out of the woods, gasping for breath, my heart pounding in my chest. The oppressive atmosphere lifted, and the sun broke through the thick canopy. That night, as I lay in bed, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. The nursery rhymes echoed in my mind, a chilling reminder of the horrors that lurked in the shadows. I knew then that my grandmother's eccentricity was a shield, a means of protecting me from the terrifying truth that lay hidden behind those seemingly innocent songs. A desperate attempt to warn others. The nursery rhymes were not mere folklore. They were a guide, a legacy of fear passed down through generations. The shadows are real, and the forest hides ancient secrets that should never be uncovered. The terrifying truth behind the nursery rhymes my grandmother sang is a darkness that should remain buried, a secret that demands to be forgotten.